our very rich history of the Vakwangali. According to the oral narratives, folk tales, and stories, which were told by the elderly parents, narrators claim that the origin of the Vakwangali tribe originated from the rock of Nkumbi and Manyalia-Nkumbi. We have heard about this. It is alleged that even trace of human footprint can be found at that rock. This rock signifies the Vakwangali people as ancestral place of origin. Geographically, the Vakwangali people have lived on the northeastern part of Namibia in Kavango West region. Oral account by local historian, elders, recalls that it is a well-known history that before settling at the present area called Vakwangali today, the Vakwangali people migrated from an area called Masi, an area located in western province of Zambia. From Masiland area, this group of people started splitting in a smaller tribal groupings and migrated in two different directions in search of fertile land for cultivation, good grazing, water for livestock, and for drinking. It is alleged that a group of which branched off from Masi heading westwards was under the leadership of Chief Nampoko. Tales and old stories suggested that apart from the Vanyemba, other two groups settled at Makuzu, Gamuntenda, Kenyandi, Lianguranene. These are the Vakwangalis that settled there at Makuzu. These two groups is believed to be one of them is Vakwangali, which settled at Makuzu and moved easternwards from Makuzu up to the contemporary Vakwangali area. Mangondo and Munjanjaro, well-renowned narrators of history of Vakwangali, support the above fact. We justify that Makuzu was the epicenter, the womb, where the Vakwangali Mbunza tribe emanated from. It is believed that that was at Makuzu where the Vakwangali people developed themselves into full-fledged and independent community with their own self-rule, own leadership, own identity, own culture. The ruling clans of these two groups, namely Vakwangali and Mbunza, is hyena. They are called Vakwasipika. The chieftainship of the Vakwangali tribe can be traced back far as at Makuzu Gamuntenda, where the Vakwangali people settled for a long period, many years. Folk tales and an oral account suggest that At Makuzu, Gamuntenda, a matrilineal grandson of Mate succeeded Mate and became the chief Hompa of Vakwangali community. It is worth noting that succession of the chiefs was only within the royal family for those matrilineal lines. This was that a common subject does not qualify under any circumstances to become a chief of a given ethnic group. The Vakwangali people lived at Makuzu Gamuntenda for a long period, and they were led by the following rulers. They are Mate, Muntenda, Muha, Nankali, Zoma, Nankali Zazoma, before relocating to the current Vakwangali area. From Makuzu, the Vakwangali tribe was led by Chief Hompa Nankali Zazoma up to the village called Namuntuntu, Mkukutu. Nankali was succeeded by Hompa's Simbara, relocate the palace at an island called Sihangu. Consequently, Hompa Simbara relocated the palace at an area called Karai in the western side part of Kurenkuru town in Angola. At Karai, the following rulers led the Vakwangali tribe, namely Simbara, Mate, Zamkuwe, Siremo, Zamkuwe, and Timpepo. Leaving Karai, Mpepo, the son of Hompa Mate and Mukuwe, relocate with the Vakwangali group at Rurova, at the other side of beyond the river of Nkwerenkuru in Angola. Succeeded Hompa Mpande, the daughter of Haimbili, and settled at an island called Mbanda near Katwitwi, at a village called Tuguva. There was also a palace of Hompampasi who lived at Namuntuntu at the names and period of power of chieftainship lineage as from Makuzu, Gamuntenda till the present day in Vakwangali reads as follows. These are the Hompas that I'm going to read now in a different period of time in which they rule and reign Vakwangali tribe. Mate the First, she reigns in 1730 up to 1749. Muntenda from 1750 up to 1760. Muha from 1760 to 1774. Nankali from 1775 up to 1784. Simbara from 1785 and 1785. And Mate II from 1785 up to 1818. Siremo from 1818 up to 1822. Mpepo I from 1882 up to 1833. Mpande I from 1883 up to 1854. Sikongo from 1854 up to 1870. Mpasi from 1870 to 1880. Mpepo II from 1880 up to 1840 or 1884. Mpande II from 18 1884 to 1886. Now, this Mpande Zahaimbili, she was a Hompa of Vakwangali, succeeded by Hompa Himarwa. And this Mpande was a niece of Mpepo. When Mpepo was killed, then this Mpande took over. She was a niece of Mpepo. I will then explain it in Vakwangali when I finish with this one. Then, after Mpande, she was succeeded in Mpande by Himarwa. This Himarwa was the young brother of Mpande and the last born of Nasira. Himarwa Zaisete. Himarwa, the last born of Nasira, Za Hamatwi, arrived in Vakwangali in 1886 and found Mpande died soon, some days ago, at Mbanda Island at Katwitwi. Himarwa ruled at Rurova in Angola. Then he moved the palace from Angola to Namibia and established his palace at Mayara, meaning that he was the founder of Mayara place in Namibia. In other words, you see, all the people were there. The Vakwangalis, they were beyond the river. There was only few this side, as we know the history. Now, in the time of Himarwa, he was the very first one to move the palace from Angola to the Namibian side. You see, this was the two groups. If you take the Nasira children, the Mpande and Siremu. Siremu was at the other side, and then Himarwa came, stayed a couple of years in Angola, then he moved this side. And then afterwards, the line of Mpande, they were sent also back to Angola to start and to establish, to relocate a palace of Vakwangali. They started with Mangondo. A daughter, this Mangondo, was a daughter of Siremo, of Nasira. The Sira, a daughter of Mpande. Himarwa died in 1910 and buried at Mayara royal family. Then he was succeeded by Kanjimi Hawanga Zaskongo. He was a son of Kongo and Siremo. He came with his uncle Himarwa to Vakwangali. He was contemporary of King Mandume Yandamfayo of Vakwangali. Hawanga engaged in war against Portuguese at Port Kwangar. He also fought alongside with King Mandume against Portuguese and was settled and English settlers. He died a mysterious death in Grootfontein. This Kanjimi Hawanga. He's a hero. Then he was succeeded by Mbuna Zakangumbe. Mbuna Zakangumbe was the son of Muharwa Zasivute. He was the youngest Hompa ever rule Vakwangali. He was very young when he became a chief for Vakwangali. He was then succeeded by Kanuni Zaharuwodi, a sister to Mbuna Zakangumbe. Then thereafter, Kanuni was succeeded by Sivute Zakangumbe. He was a younger brother to Mbuna and to Kanuni. He was the first Hompa to be converted to Christian or to Christianity faith. During his rule, the palace was moved from Mayara to Musese. He died in 1958 at Musese. Kanuni Zaruodi, she became twice, in other words, she took over then for the second time, Hompa of Vakwangali, and returned the palace to Mayara again. She was baptized to the Christian faith in 1960, named Miriam. She was buried in Mayara Royal Cemetery. Then she was succeeded by Joseph Kanjimi. Me. Yeah, my brother, this one is my brother, Zamurangi. Kanjimi was the son of Kankanuni Zarwodi. He was a wise ruler with considered decisions. He was baptized on his dying bed in 1979. He was buried at Mayara Royal Cemetery. Then he was succeeded by Daniel Sitentumpasi. His mother, the mother of this Daniel, is Mbunze Zaruwodi, a sister to Hompa Kanuni. Sitentu was a man of attractive humor, integrity, dignity, fearless, and freedom fighter. He was one of the traditional leaders of Kavango, if not in Namibia at large, who involved openly and directly without fear in the liberation struggle for independence of Namibia. He was diligent and self-sacrificing leader who led his nation without any compromise or retreat under any circumstance. He is the only Hompa of the Vakwangali people who traveled abroad ever. Traveled to England and then to Zambia. He was loved by his people very, very much. He died of a chronic, from a chronic illness at Kurenkuru Lutheran Health Center on the 17th December 2014, and buried in the Royal Cemetery at Mayara. You can see Wombe, they're sitting here, gladly and happily. We are celebrating the designation of our respected Hompa Yugen Siwombe Kudumo. We are imploring the Almighty and Heavenly Father to shower many blessings upon him and his entire family. May God bless the Vakwangali community as well.